Hello everyone. This spot on the agenda aims to fill you in on recent developments in the various support services provided by the IBUA. Some might assume that calling them support services implies that they are secondary to what might be seen as our core business of representing the interests of workers in the financial services sector. However, these services are not only complementary to our industrial relations agenda, they are in many instances fully integrated into it. And that goes for administrative backup too. There is a very strong team ethic in IBUA House, as the talents and expertise of our professional staff are combined with the experience and insights of our activists to achieve the best possible outcomes for our members, either on individual cases or on a collective basis. Of course, by its very nature, the communications function transcends most of the activities that we undertake in the union. Our communications manager, Seamus Shields, is involved with the work of the bank teams in terms of both their internal and external communications. He has also designed material for the organising team, and he has been involved with our Senior Industrial Relations and Training Officer, Marion Gagan, and our lead organiser, Gareth Murphy, in the online training project. The placards and banners that announced IBUA's presence on the austerity protests in February were designed by him, and he also plays a role in our lobbying work with government and political parties. Of course, Spectrum and the websites and conference videos like this one are all products of his fertile imagination.
Thanks for that, Tony.
Thanks, mate. Joking aside, we are on the verge of reaching the conclusion of the long-running saga on the upgrading of our membership database, which will in turn enable us to take our communications with members to a higher level of sophistication. Apart from facilitating bulk mailing and text messaging, the completion of the upgrade will enable members to choose how they wish IBUA to communicate with them. This not only aims to make our communications more effective, it also recognises that many of our members are time poor and under pressure at work. For them, less may be more. So in future, instead of receiving copies of every circular issued from IBUA House, most members will receive periodic updates on developments in their employments. Our intention is that the detailed circulars, which can sometimes appear on a daily basis, will generally only be issued to IBUA reps, bank district secretaries and executive committee members. But rank and file members who wish can opt in to be notified of the circulars as they are issued. They can also be notified of any union activities that are of special interest to them, such as equality, organising, pensions, health and safety or the new discounts. This initiative aims to provide a basic level of coverage that ensures that members are not overwhelmed with too many messages, but that any member who wishes to receive more frequent communications can do so. At the same time, it will mean that our activists not only receive communications as a priority, but are also restored to a position of authority within our workplace structures, since they would become a key source of news and information for most members in the intervals between the periodic updates. Of course, being a source does not mean that you are a confidential informant who only passes on information occasionally. We expect that as union representatives, you will make the most of any opportunity to provide information on the latest developments whenever a member asks. The new system will also enable members to indicate their preferences in terms of how messages or alerts are delivered, via email, text messaging or fax, as well as how they wish to receive Spectrum, either online or in print. This is a further step in streamlining our communications effort so that members will get the news they choose in a manner they can use. One other initiative in the communications area I want to bring your attention to is the I Am IBOA project. The idea is to build up a collection of very short video clips of members saying, I am IBOA. This is intended for internal use initially, sometime in the future, perhaps at another event like this. If we decide to go public with it, we will get in touch with you before we do anything with it. So if you want to take part, just walk up to Seamus and say, I am IBOA, and he will then record you. Those of you who were at last year's Bank Secretaries Conference may remember the presentation we received from Alan Tate on organising trends within the global trade union movement. In the wake of this, our lead organiser, Gareth Murphy, made a number of proposals to the Executive Committee with a view to enabling the Union to strengthen our leverage with employers and government by building our membership. The committee then took the brave but at the same time logical decision that we had to speculate to accumulate, so to speak, by investing in our future, since we are facing into a period of sustained reduction in membership due to the wide-scale restructuring across the banking industry. So since February, we have now established an organising unit led by Gareth with two new organisers, David Murphy, no relation of Gareth's, and Adam O'Milligan, and supported by Anna and Philip in IBA House. This unit has already made significant progress in identifying and recruiting non-members in employments where we already have negotiating rights, and especially in the branch networks and in targeted campaigns in some head offices. Many of you will continue to work closely with the team as they seek to support our combined efforts to build the union. Again, I emphasise that we need to work together as activists and staff. Sometimes when specialist units are created, there may be a tendency to assume that the unit will absolve everyone else of the responsibility to take action in the matter. If we allow this attitude to develop in relation to organising, then this will be a fatal move. The most effective recruiters for IBA are members who are active and well disposed to the organisation. Word of mouth recommendation combined with direct experience of the union in action in the workplace are more valuable testimonials than all promotional material we can produce, no matter how well presented. Furthermore, our objective in organising is not only about recruiting new members, but also about revitalising and re-energising our existing members. The commitment and attitude of our members has a direct impact on the capacity of the union to deliver positive outcomes. If members are active and engaged in the union, in other words, well organised, then the union will be far more effective. This has to be the focus of all delegates leaving this conference. Encouraging positive, active participation in the union is the call for the day. This is the key to building our numbers and strengthening the influence of the union in the workplace. Building membership and activism is also a major focus for our training service, which strives to ensure that all of our activists are equipped with the skills and knowledge to carry out their various roles, from IBA representatives at local level to the executive committee members, as well as developing key specialist skills in the areas of health and safety, equality and pensions. As well as providing training for new representatives, a number of advanced training courses for reps were offered on a regional basis in the past year. Other training initiatives for activists included courses on dignity in the workplace, handling problems in the workplace, promoting equality and fairness at work. There were many challenges to overcome in continuing to meet the demand for training, not least the turnover of IBA reps and the increasing difficulty of securing leave for training, even for accredited training. We remain committed to meeting these challenges and placing our activists and local organisers at the heart of the union. This time last year, I was pleased to report that we have succeeded in becoming a registered training provider in the Republic of Ireland. Due to the amalgamation of the FETAC, the Further Education and Training Awards Council, with a number of other award bodies, there is an obligation on newly recognised training providers, such as IBA, to validate their training programmes. The first stage of this validation process has been initiated with the assistance of the ICTU. Our positive working relationship with other unions and with ICTU, both North and South, allow us to benefit from joint training with other unions in areas of equality, organising and health and safety. Another example of how networking with other partners yields benefits for IBA is our involvement in Trade Union SkillNet in 2012 and 2013, which enables us to avail of training programmes at an extremely cost-effective basis. More recently, we have cooperated with the Labour Relations Commission in the Republic of Ireland and the Labour Relations Agency in Northern Ireland and ACAS in Great Britain in an attempt to bring in-depth knowledge of these institutions and especially of recent changes in industrial relations in all jurisdictions to our key activists, including bank district secretaries. Last year I was delighted to announce that we had developed a new computer training suite in our premises in Belfast. The suite was officially opened in June 2012 by the Minister for Employment and Learning. This development was facilitated by our involvement in the Union Learning Fund in Northern Ireland. Since that auspicious start to IT training in Belfast, we have managed to offer similar courses to other areas such as Omagh, Derry and Ballymena in the latter part of 2012 and this year. IBOA has recently been successful in getting funding for another year of the Union Learning Project. This will enable us to meet the high demand from members for IT training as well as extend the training offered in other subjects such as leadership skills. Last year, we ran a small number of IT taster courses in IBOA House on a pilot basis, so we will soon be able to offer some refresher training to members. In the past year, hundreds of members have availed of training in preparing CVs and in developing interview techniques and skills. We are committed to continue to meet the huge demand for this type of training. Because of the scale of the demand, especially among members who are about to be made redundant, we seek to ensure that union members who remain as associate members of IBOA will continue to have access to IBOA training wherever possible. At the start of this presentation, I mentioned the importance of teamwork in IBOA House. One of the teams that was established during 2012 was charged with examining our approaches to handling personal cases. They were asked to see if we could arrive at a more consistent and effective way of not only dealing with immediate issues, but also of putting in place a system of recording the experiences with outcomes, with particular emphasis on any precedents or new learnings which we could use for the benefit of our members into the future. A multidisciplinary working group of activists and staff was set up with Marion Gagan in the chair. And I'm going to hand over now to Marion to tell you briefly about the working group's recommendations.
As part of our review of personal cases and the way that IBOA handles personal cases, we have introduced guidelines for IBOA reps, bank district secretaries and executive committee members. We're calling this guide a journey through a personal case, and that's to try to emphasise the fact that we bring a personal case right from its very infancy, right through up to and including third party stage and to a final outcome. A considerable amount of IBOA resources and time is spent in the area of personal cases, and we're trying to ensure that there's a systematic approach to those cases. Since 2006, we've had 1,473 personal cases, and at the moment we have 232 personal cases open. As you can see, there's considerable differences between the various employers in terms of the number of personal cases that have been taken over the years. And Ulster Bank, I suppose, stands out there as heading the list. Unfortunately, most of those personal cases are disciplinary cases. And unfortunately, the graph is going in the wrong direction for all of the banks. We're seeing more of the banks with an emphasis on micromanagement, with an emphasis on performance management, an emphasis on absence management. Breaches of procedures is the disciplinary issue which heads the table. And we're not necessarily talking about major breaches of procedure here. They can be very, very minor infractions. The challenge for IBOA is trying to ensure that we're adopting best practice in our handling of personal cases, that we're being consistent in our approach. There's a standardisation both of training and the way we handle the cases, and also certification of training for representatives. All of this will have twofold effect. Number one, it'll protect reps who are taking cases, but most importantly, it will protect our members and ensure that they're getting the service that they deserve. We also need to link in with our new membership system to ensure that there's a proper recording of them and a monitoring of their progress. So I'm very pleased that we have this resource now available to IBOA reps, to bank district secretaries, executive committee members and members generally, and it is available on IBOA's website. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Marion. As someone who is required to conduct personal cases on behalf of members in Ulster Bank, I look forward to putting the new approaches into practice. Our sports and social activities are also well supported, like the Zoo Days in Dublin, Belfast and Cork, the Pantos in the same three cities, and various musical or theatrical performances in Dublin and Belfast, and of course the annual golf competition in Athlone. Our Sports and Social Committee, both nationally and in the regions, deserve commendation for their efforts. I want to pay particular tribute to my Executive Committee colleagues, especially Irene Breen, Liam Ross and Stephen Kennedy, as well as the staff in IBOA House who try to ensure these events are a success. For some elements of what we do, we also rely on the support of our legal advisors, Bowler Geraghty in Dublin and Thompson McClure in Belfast. We get a thoroughly professional service from Kieran O'Brien and John O'Neill, respectively, and we are very grateful for their continued support. As for the range of discounts and special offers we provide on various goods and services, I am pleased to say that we have concluded an agreement with a new service provider who will coordinate the provision of these offers. This is an exciting new development, and I've asked Peter Jenkinson from Group Save to make a presentation to you on this new initiative tomorrow afternoon. Some of our ongoing service providers are represented in the stands outside the hall, and if you have not already visited them, I would urge you to do so. Delegates, through this brief presentation, I hope you can see that while we continue to do the day job of looking after our members in the workplace, both collectively and individually, we are pushing ahead in a number of other complementary areas. Sometimes the pace of these innovations runs slower than we would wish, because we have to respond to the difficulties that arise in particular employments or across the sector generally. Some of these projects have to idle in first gear for a while rather than roaring ahead in top gear. Nevertheless, there is a clear commitment on the part of the Executive Committee and the staff in IBOA House to explore new ways of delivering existing services or indeed developing new initiatives aimed at improving the position of our members. Thank you for your attention. Now back to you,